OU college costs are down, but students still carry a heavy financial burden. A Tornado Alley tribute for a fallen celebrity, and OU's food pantry is finally open. This is OU Nightly. At a time when students are coping with rising debt to pay for college, OU says it's coming to the rescue.
And the university's number crunchers say despite tuition increases, the out-of-pocket costs of earning an OU degree are dropping. But Nightly's Reagan Ledbetter says many students are still feeling the financial pinch. And he joins us live outside the OU administration building with the details. Reagan?
Guys, President Boren says for students and families, OU's recent cost-cutting efforts are paying off. But one area where prices continue to rise is the cost of textbooks. And we found one person who is trying to help. A new year or a new semester can be an exciting thing for students on OU's campus. That is, until it is time to make those dreadful purchases, textbooks. School is already expensive as it is, and the books add hundreds of dollars to the large bill. The issue? Many books are required by professors, bought, and then barely used.
The teacher gets through about a third, maybe halfway through the textbook, and then the semester's over, and then you never touch the textbook ever again, and that's $300, $400 just thrown away.
In order to balance expenses, students are resorting to other options to avoid having to waste money.
I like getting the old versions of textbooks because they're cheaper. They're almost the exact same. There's not much different in them, and if there is an older version out there, I would definitely get it. So,
although book prices continue to go up, an answer to the problem is being created by a junior PR student here at OU. Cassidy Huckabee has seen friends struggle year in and year out with textbook costs, but one day came up with an idea.
Textbooks cost hundreds of dollars. I don't know how you can't afford to buy groceries and have to buy your textbooks. Like, people are literally sacrificing their food, people are sacrificing themselves to buy textbooks and succeed in school.
Huckabee has decided to start a textbook donation system to help students who can't afford books.
Gaylord required books. I have language books, arts books.
While this was something that started as just a small idea, the power of social media took it to the next level.
Just from me posting on Facebook and the word getting out and people messaging me and approaching me and saying, you do realize that this could be bigger than what you were planning, right? And I was like, no.
It is still a work in progress, but she plans to launch the program in the fall.
The plan is to get textbooks and get as many as I possibly can right now. That's what these next several months are going to be about, is just gathering textbooks.
While the textbook donation program may not give all students a free pass on buying their books, Huckabee is doing anything she can to reduce financial stress of students one book at a time. The response to the idea has been overwhelming. Right now, she's focused on reeling in as many books as she can so she can start providing cheap textbooks next semester. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Reagan. And
Serious weather watchers have paid homage to Bill Paxton in a cross-state tribute. Storm chasers across the nation honored the star of Twister by lining up network markers to spell Paxton's initials across Tornado Alley. Paxton died at 61 due to heart complications. Joseph, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that Twister was partially filmed in Norman.
I mean, being in Tornado Alley, I don't know, but Jordan, is that right?
Yeah, that is right. So a few scenes from the movie Twister were filmed in Norman and also in central Oklahoma roads. And Bill Paxton was obviously a very integral part of that movie. I mean, a lot of it was a big inspiration for a lot of people that are studying meteorology today, including myself. So it's very sad, unfortunately, that did pass away. But weather right now, live radar, we've got nothing hardly across the state, but that's going to be coming to a change as we go to tomorrow. But it is very warm. Check out temperatures in the 70s, off to the 60s to the southeast because of the clouds. But coming up, we're talking about severe storm chances. I'll have more on that in just a minute. Also, fire danger for tomorrow, and then cooler areas moving in. All the details. Back to you guys.
And President Donald Trump's budget is out, and Abby Green is in the News Center with more on its focus on U.S. defense. Abby?
President Donald Trump wants to increase the 2018 U.S. defense budget by $54 billion. The increase will give military new aircraft, ships, and fighters. To afford it, Trump proposes cutting money from domestic programs and foreign aid by roughly 10%. At the same time, the president continues to say he will begin spending on infrastructure repair. President George W. Bush presented criticism for President Donald Trump's term this morning.
Power can be very addictive, and it can be corrosive, and it's important for the media to call to account people who abuse their power.
Bush told NBC News that a presidency is a hard job and that he would like answers regarding the alleged contact between Trump's campaign officials and Russian officials. The former president's comments were unusual considering he didn't comment on Barack Obama's presidential term. A man drove his truck into a crowd during a Mardi Gras parade last night, injuring 28 people. Police say 25-year-old Nielsen Rizzuto had a blood alcohol level nearly 3 times the legal limit. He is charged with first-degree vehicular negligence, reckless operation, and hit-and-run driving. A judge has set Rizzuto's bail at $125,000. And Joe and Anna SpaceX has announced that in 2018 will send 2 people on a round trip to the moon.
Thank you, Abby.
The filing period for former State Representative Dan Kirby's seat is open. Kirby voluntarily vacated his seat in the Oklahoma House Committee after a committee recommended he be expelled following sexual harassment claims. A general election is set for July 11th.
EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt is already under fire for emails showing close ties to the oil and gas industry. Now the Associated Press says he lied about using private email accounts while serving as Oklahoma's Attorney General. AB obtained emails showing exchanges where the Pruitt used a private account hosted by Apple. Oklahoma officials are legally allowed to use private emails, but in last month's Senate confirmation hearing, Pruitt denied using a private account. Well, still ahead on OU Nightly, the student pantry is up and ready to fight campus hunger.
Plus, sexual assault on college campuses and the scary statistics with it.
Welcome back. The OU Food Pantry had its first soft opening last week. Located at 1113 Elm Ave in Stubman Place, the pantry is open to any and all students in need. It provides an assortment of donated canned foods, other non-perishables, and toiletry items. OU students and organizer of the pantry, Matt Marks, said he was pleased with the turnout.
We served 8 students, which was great. We didn't know if we were going to have 1 student come in, no students, 100 students, but we had 8 students come in, which was great. It was really cool because they were just amazed when they walked in and saw all kinds of the options that we had, and I could tell when they left they were really happy to be going home with the food that they chose.
1 in 5 women are assaulted while in college. Nightly's Nola Allinger visited the Gender and Equality Center to find out what OU is doing to address that problem on this campus.
The Gender and Equality Center is trying to help lower these statistics here on campus, but a huge part of the problem? Students simply not knowing the resources are there.
Well, we know nationally from studies that only about 10% of sexual assault victims report to a university official. Now those numbers are a little bit older, so I'm hoping that's improved with the increased focus and attention, but it's one of the most underreported crimes, so absolutely I wish more people would utilize the service.
The GEC tries to get the word out on social media that they're there to help and can walk victims through the process.
It's the opportunity to meet one-on-one with those 2 advocates who are on call, or if someone is not comfortable, they can talk on the phone. And then really it's victim-centered, so whatever that particular victim wants or needs in that moment. And for some people it's an immediate need, that something has just happened and they need medical care, forensic exam, they want to talk to law enforcement, they'd like to report it to the university, to the Title IX office.
Despite the fact that the resources are not known to each and every student, Fall is proud of what OU does to combat this issue.
So helping somebody take those first steps to get back into a healthy place after this trauma is very rewarding. And if we can support somebody so that they can access services or remain in school or begin to heal, that's what it's all about for me.
The Gender and Equality Center urges all students to use the resources provided, and for more information on those resources, you can visit the GEC's website at www.ou.edu/GEC.
Oklahoma school districts are facing criticism. Hunger Free Oklahoma says schools in the state left more than $17 million in federal funds on the table, money that could be used to offer free breakfast and lunch in classrooms to students who attend high-poverty schools. Nearly 1 in 4 Oklahoma children struggle with food insecurity, but only 15% of schools participate in the program. The topic of meal expansion will be brought up during the Summer Education Conference.
And still ahead on OU Nightly, OU football in the spotlight again for the wrong reasons.
And the band is back together. Jordan Overton is here and ready with your weather.
That's right, we've got clouds starting to move in. I'll let you know how long they'll last. Coming up. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Jordan Overton. Look at your weather. So we're taking a look at outside right now. Oh, we're looking at some video here. This is from Pennsylvania. There's some tornado damage that they had, and you can see lots of damage there. It does not matter if it's winter, if it's February or whatever. The conditions are right, you can see tornadoes. And so that's what we saw in Pennsylvania over the weekend. But let's take a look outside right now. You can see right up there near the North Oval, we can see conditions are fantastic. In fact, we're sitting at 71 degrees right now, mostly cloudy skies. South-southeast winds at about 15 miles an hour, and our moisture is increasing. Dew point's sitting at 59. That's going to continue to increase as we go into tomorrow. So temperatures right now in the 70s, but notice to our north, we've got some cold air on the way. That's going to set the stage for severe weather and also a cooler air moving into our area. So let's take a look at how this is going to play out. Here it is. So there's the low pressure system. There's the front. You can see we've got south winds. Let's continue all for tonight and into tomorrow. And so here we go. Here comes the front. This is Tuesday morning. We can see some scattered showers in far southeastern Oklahoma. You can see the winds moving up. And there's the front. Here comes the cooler air. Now watch as we go into the afternoon. We could see more storms develop, especially in eastern Oklahoma. This could be potentially severe storms along the front. And as that moves through, this makes a move through about Tuesday. We're looking at maybe 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. The cold air will start to move in, and this is going to be cooler air for the rest of the week. So we're looking into Wednesday. Also on Thursday, you can see that cool high is it will be in control for Thursday. And then we get to Friday, we have another front that's going to move through and bring in even some colder air. So it's going to remain cooler, not necessarily cold, just cool. We're looking at temperatures in the 60s, maybe in some 50s, especially for Thursday and Friday and also into Saturday. So again, we talked about that severe weather. That's mainly going to be to our east. So there it is right there. So the main risk for severe weather will be off to the east. Norman, I think we're going to be fine. I think we'll just see clouds, but no storms for Norman. I think it'll be off to our east for severe weather for tomorrow. All right, so lows tonight, they will be pretty warm. We're sitting around 59 degrees in Norman. Notice our normal is 36. South winds overnight tonight. We go throughout the day tomorrow. It's going to be a fantastic day. 59 to start off, topping out at 78 degrees, but it is going to be windy. South-southwest at 20 to 30 miles an hour. Very high fire danger, especially for I-35 and west for tomorrow, because we're going to have very strong winds. It's going to be very dry. And there's those highs. Notice 80 degrees in Ardmore. I mean, we're 20 degrees above normal for the last day of February. It is just very warm outside, but then that will be coming to a change as we extend the forecast out. Notice Wednesday, 60 degrees for your high, a chance for rain in the morning. That's mainly for eastern Oklahoma. For Tuesday, it's mainly in the afternoon and evening, and again, mainly for eastern Oklahoma. I think Norman will stay dry for most of this event. Then it's cooler for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And once we get to the weekend, things kind of shift around. Warm air moves in. We're back into the 70s. For Sunday. But then right at that, another cold front comes through and cools us off again.
Wow.
And then we go back into the 50s.
That's Oklahoma weather for you.
Oklahoma weather. There you go.
Thank you, Jordan.
Well, we'll tell you what this video in sports is all about.
That's right. Thanks, guys. It may be February, but OU football is back in the spotlight. Quarterback Baker Mayfield got himself into some trouble over the weekend. We'll give you the details next. Welcome back to OU Nightly Sports. OU quarterback Baker Mayfield was arrested in Fayetteville, Arkansas on Saturday. Mayfield was arrested for public intoxication, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and fleeing. The police report states that Mayfield had slurred speech, trouble walking, and refused to cooperate with police. The only word from OU regarding the incident was a statement released Saturday saying We are aware of the matter and are learning the details, but no official comment has been made from the OU athletic department. Mayfield finished 3rd in the Heisman voting last year and is on the watch list for the Heisman this year. Huge news for the men's basketball team on Saturday. They trounced Kansas State, winning 81-51. Not only was it their largest margin of victory of the season, it was also head coach Lon Kruger's 600th win of his career. The Sooners held the Wildcats to just 25% shooting and just 20 points in the first half. Team plays tonight at 8 p.m. against the Kansas Jayhawks in Lawrence. The women were successful on Saturday as well, beating TCU 73-64. Vivi Pierre-Louise led the team in scoring yet again with 18 points. Maddie Manning added 15 and Gabby Ortiz had 13. Sooners now sit 1 game behind rival Texas in the conference. Big game tonight at home against the Baylor Bears, the last one of the regular season. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. Sooner baseball went 4-0 on the weekend in the 19 Ways Invitational. They defeated Villanova twice and Northern Illinois, but the big game was yesterday against Boston College. The Sooners were down 4-1 heading into the 8th and scored 3 runs to tie it up. Senior Ben Hollis hit a single with the bases loaded to give OU the 5-4 win. Shortstop Brandon Zaragoza talked to the team about the team effort that went into winning.
I think we did a great job as a team to find our way back in the game, and I mean, we were never out of the game, but we found our way back in and we came out with a W.
And 2 of the stars of the baseball team will be on Sooner Sports Pad tonight at 9 p.m. on Fox Sports Oklahoma right after the women's basketball game. Pitcher Jake Irvin and second baseman Kyle Mendenhall will drop by the studio, and Stephen Mudd has a touching story of the amazing bond between OU point guard Gabby Ortiz and her father. Softball team won both games on Friday in the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic, but fell in a tough game to Notre Dame on Saturday. Final score was 5-4, which marks the 4th loss by only 1 run for the Sooners. OU plays again Wednesday at 5 against Wichita State. The women's gymnastics team celebrated senior night in style on Friday. They narrowly beat Georgia by just over 1 point, but 3 seniors won their events and Chase Capps earned her first all-around title of the season. Team competed again yesterday and dominated Texas Women's University, where Capps won her 2nd all-around title up for the weekend. OU will compete again Saturday against Michigan. And the men dominated once again, defeating number 9 Air Force by over 30 points. The Sooners took home 5 individual event titles, and Colin Van Wickland earned his all-around title. Their next meet is Saturday against the number 2 team in the nation, Stanford. The Thunder beat the Pelicans last night 118-110. Russell Westbrook scored 41 points and earned his 29th triple-double of the season. The Pelicans have lost 3 in a row since they made the trade for DeMarcus Cousins and sent former Sooner Buddy Hield to Sacramento. OKC plays tomorrow night against the Utah Jazz. Making a comeback in the NBA D-League, Nate Robinson is pulling out some of his old tricks. Robinson, listed at 5'9", dribbled his way through a much taller player's legs to get around him. Robinson pulled out the same trick back in 2013 when he played for the Bulls. I guess that's one way to get around a defender, guys. That's pretty clever on his part, taking advantage of his
funny, though, because
height.
We're that height too, so even though they look gigantic in the video, that's probably us if we can play basketball as well.
Hey, we've got that going for us. Thank you, Blakely. Coming up on OU Nightly, and Oscars for the ages.
Welcome back, and the Oscar for biggest bungling of an award show goes to the Oscars.
Last night's Academy Awards, the mecca of award show excellence, ended with a historic slip.
Steak. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Moonlight won. Come on, this is not a joke.
Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway ended up with the card revealing the winner for Best Actress, which happened to go to La La Land. But luckily the error was caught soon enough and Moonlight was rightfully announced as the winner. How embarrassing.
But besides that slip-up, a few Okies did give the Sooner State another reason to tune into the Oscars. Eden natives and executive producers for La La Land, Thad and Trent Luckenbill, had a quick taste of an Oscar win, but we just saw what happened. Norman native and screenwriter for Arrival, Eric Heigerer, was up for the award for Best Adapted Screenplay, and OU graduate Rudy Horn was in charge of accuracy and fact-checking for Hidden Figures. Unfortunately, no one from Oklahoma took home an Oscar, but the representation is still really nice for the Sooner State.
No love for Oklahoma. I'm glad they got that far.
Oh, absolutely. That is great.
Great. Can we take one last look at weather?
Yeah, so again, this evening it's going to be pretty good. And you're going to be inside the 60s, dropping out to 59. It's going to be very light winds for midnight, so fantastic for the evening, and then chance for storms in eastern Oklahoma tomorrow.
Thanks. Well, thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you here tomorrow at 4:30.
Have a great evening.